I take for another for me, Makwaba, bbery News TV. So, resources, I want subscribe to bbery News TV. I'm also subscribe. No one like, no one share, no one turn on notification bell. Say, update bbery, no. On subject to me, I can make a comment section on so your dear. Mr. Sobel, comment me be a cost 101. Na ensemble na ekokoso eye one journalist be a friend Kevin Taylor did ensemble atudwa efa Akufo Addo dream ne na kata asehye proye kankan ne nneema ensa na mfata ema oman esi opinion na ensemble na sa journalist eka ya akoka se Akufo Addo ye taxpayers money no oje no onfa nya hwe se koke ene odi daily vi no ode no nsemhunu nsempara no ma evidence the entire Akufo Addo like Akufo Addo onye lawyer babia Akufo Addo is not recognized in the world say oko law school babia azane damramane kontompo na papa no ode tudwa ode dada Ghana for enam say ye bi mu yennim amamre ne yennim papa yenenti no ene say okoje aman na emu we de obo aman mo yenkotie ensema Kevin Taylor added to Johnny about the Akabian, and the best of Sumianko team.
It still lives under that delusion that it is not because of the irresponsibility, the physical irresponsibility that has occurred under his watch that is causing a direct impact on our fallen CD. And he believes that is external problems. When the whole world is getting out of the external shocks, then it's the president's. I can only say that we don't have a future. The president still lives under that delusion that it is not because of the irresponsibility, the physical irresponsibility that has occurred under his watch that is causing a direct impact on our fallen CD. And he believes that is external problems. When the whole world is getting out of the external shocks, then it's the president's. I can only say that we don't have a future.
Speaker Babin says I'm a lame duck. Well, that's his language. That's his language. I am still the president of the republic, and I will continue to be so. And I have no doubt that the power to make decisions and to carry out policies is still firmly in my hands, and I'm not going to let it go. I don't know what he's talking about when he says lame duck. He has his own understanding of that, but I am not a lame duck president. Babin says I'm a lame duck. Well, that's his language. That's his language. I am still the president of the republic, and I will continue to be so. And I have no doubt that the power to make decisions and to carry out policies is still firmly in my hands, and I'm not going to let it go. I don't know what he's talking about when he says lame duck. He has to make decisions and to carry out policies is still firmly in my hands, and I'm not going to let it go. I don't know what he's talking about when he says lame duck. He has to make decisions and to carry out policies is still firmly in my hands, and I'm not going to let it go. I don't know what he's talking about when he says lame duck. He has his own understanding of that. But make decisions and to carry out policies is still firmly in my hands, and I'm not going to let it go. I don't know what he's talking about when he says lame duck. He has his own understanding of that. But I am not a lame duck president.
Before I go on, let me postulate from the Franz Fanonian dictum, which stipulates that the dialectics of reconciling two conflicting ideas is the algebra of revolution. The overbearing intervention of the state government had further exacerbated oporombium and amounting to sadomasochisms. Acrimony and chaos in our community. It was a contumelious stratagem by political jobbers to siphon monies. We suffer what we call political axivia non torum. Conclusively, we are a microcosm of the issues in the Niger Delta in the macrocosm. Today, we as a people are stating, voxe populi, voxe Dei.
judge Bako. I say Jane Mensah is ignorantly confident. Oh, let me get right. I say Jane Mensah is confidently ignorant. She's a confidently ignorant person. There's a wabon and so ojinim bonidi into Bejina Bontina or Kasa, Najin and Najin Juma and so abodam. At the Kuku a year, Kuku and you do we send or call psychological DND, your friend or psycho Kuku and you do abodam. Master friends all made the DND of psychological schools a day. Kuku and you do psychological counseling. Kuku and you know mentally is not stable. Meti asi kuku and you know be suffer any your friend or psychological seminary or say DND say my friend bodam needs on meeting. Kuku and know about them psychologically is not stable. About them why are people taking him there? Psychological kuku you know is a crazy man. He's mad. We all know. About them odim the onfan ho nye. Inti kuku and you know master friends on psychological DND seminary schools say bodam ni na my friend mo fan nkwa nkafo nkosa na yare no about them. It's a fact. One name so going in the wabodam. Bodam ni amodena ko eye that be my mention baby amodena ko. You see Africa ko you the wuse uncle baby and then I need to get I think it's on Twitter, right? You see Koko and you the who inducted into Ghana Psychology Council. Hey, you people, Psychology Council for Koko and you the who he himself he needs psychological healing. He's mentally deranged. Koko and you the wabodam. And my friend I call psychological counsel. Uncle Eden, in Kwasia, we need to the Okodum. I call when you're in a bone, a year want to say, Ukuni Bo say, Cocoon, you bottom for way or not to me, Brone, Ejina, but Titi, and so. Cocoon, Jimmy way. Cocoon, you know, or Jimmy, and you're on a border Kuniba. Cocoon, you bottom for way, some Ajin and so to me can say, one no dot, one can psychological on your stable and a moment for Cocoon, you know, so Uncle Den, psychological counsel. Now, you people are the psychological counsel. Are you psychologically okay? Kweku and whose brains are on terminal leave. Hey, we're judging the car you and Yana Mikaye. Or say Kweku and the woods. We are the bachelor. I'm Katari Dinso. Judging the troll with Mohe. Or say Kweku and the woods. I'm Katari. My Katari. Kweku and the woods brains are on terminal leave. And Yana Mikaye. What bottom? Don't say anything again, sir. If you said I'll show your name, don't say anything. All right, so we're a Ghana judge, Supreme Court judge in the Chiro Mam Semen Chomamo. Yes, and I know terminal leave, and I'm also got psychological counsel, more bottom. All right, so let me see. Let's do this. Time no day. Now in some bbery koso, and there are so many things also come WhatsApp calculation, quick one. Now yanko calculation, mukaiwi.
You went to France and you lived and worked in France
For 5 years.
5 years.
As a young man, yeah.
So when was that exactly?
At the very beginning of the 1970s. I went to France in 1970, in the last year of Georges Pompidou's presidency.
Right.
Yes.
That was my next question. So I thought I would trick you with who was the president? Yes.
Georges Pompidou.
Yes.
And I mean, as a Ghanaian who was educated in England, that had been the exposure, all the experience was English related. And I thought I should have experience of another European civilization before finally coming back to Ghana. And
So it was a choice.
It was a choice.
You thought you wanted a second
Yes,
European
I did.
country.
I thought that experience would be good, and France made a lot of sense to me for the same reasons as I gave. All our neighbors are French, and I thought that it would make somebody, because right from the beginning I always intended a political career.
Oh, you thought of it.
Yes,
so you thought
yes,
that you were actually accumulating assets for this
to make that experience. I come from a very political family.
Yes,
as I'm
which
sure
surprised
you know.
me that you went to France in 1970, because actually the leader here, the head of state at that time,
Was my father.
Was your father?
A little bit also to escape all of that.
Oh yeah, like we all do when we're young.
Yes.
So when you arrived in France, did you know France before? Or is it with first visit?
Yes, I'd been there a couple of times as a student in London. I'd gone, like all of us do, for every now and then for a weekend in Paris and all of that.
Yeah.
So I enjoyed the idea that I was going to go and work there. And I was fortunate. A very famous and very well established American law firm was good enough to offer me a job
in Paris.
In Paris as conseil juridique, as they were known in those days in Paris. Those of us
it was the very beginning of a career of a lawyer when you begin as a conseiller juridique.
Absolutely, and I began it in France.
Right.
Really an extraordinary experience for me because the firm was the main law firm for the major American companies that were doing business in Europe, in France and in Europe. So you found that the big American multinational companies, Ford, Lockheed, Bank of America, Citibank, all of these were clients of Couder. And it gave me a big insight into how those corporations work and the mindset that animates them. They also had important French
companies,
especially those who had a lot of international exposure, like Marcel Dassault. The French aviation company was a client of Couder's as well.
And one of your clients was also a wine company, or is it?
Yes, Lille.
But that's quite impressive. And I'll get back to this because you were actually working in English on a daily basis.
Not really. It was to some extent also French because at the end of the day, the work of the office was advising American, Anglo-Saxon clients, if you like, Anglo-American clients on French law. If you're coming to do work in France, you need to have a clear understanding of French corporate law.
Akufo Addo can lie. Nana Danko Akufo Addo. The same strategy about Obiasu Yusudo. Azam for Gwa. Chat GPT for computer we are singing we are singing Ibusan say. We are singing computer. Akosibro ni ahye. Na Akufo Addo. Can be chair for Akufo Addo or practice law e France da. Na we are singing computer nyansa gu ni trimo onim bibia no. Or say, as of my last knowledge update in January 2022, there is no widely known information indicating that Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo Addo, the president of Ghana, practiced law in France. Computer kokroko de say dia onim won adwum from 2022 besi ne. Che say from time away Akufo Addo onim ni nyina besi 2022 onim dia aka biom. Ase bibie di wiase e chese Akufo Addo call France or ye law. Akufo Addo obi okwa disco ekwa adisa okwa ogasco esaba yaba kimbu esaba ko eye agobefo school Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo Addo oya trofo, and that is the same thing eye ba omi abeso ye. And all the things that he was saying in the interview was a lie. Ukosi brodi obeda daw Akufo Addo not on real. With the car because you mu ade nti when na me kai bo keke e bia na mu refi we eye chat eye bu GPT no mu AI no artificial intelligence onim wiase nyanse nyina omo se omo nim Akufo Addo so akọ law school bi we are practicing law of France da me betena the document nyina be kire mo good day brother ye okay ye ko okotwe omo nyina documents by lawyers omo ye djuma ho nyina Akufo Addo be sin ne ontimi ka se na me Kevin Taylor na good day brothers practicing of France on KB da akwa we didim maneuvering the accent na enya British, the accent na enya European, the accent na enya American. Onim baby okofa accent ni free ye o didim ye jiminti. We ye jiminti yes we dey tieti onim nyanso we dey okabrofu o dan papa ne de ndian enen de ama no Jot ni wi ni cocaine nkwasiade e na o de ti Jubilee House e ka bi ni omu ade nsem we yenka ubodam on shako na me mafra wa ha enu ntina me start make sure say me kai ka oba obu ofu ntu shako itina na Dankwa Akufo Addo format ngwa oyo obi chantra chiro sisia oh you know we ma me busa na o hwehwe wiem he Akufo Addo we a dangerous short guy on say omo ye window level no omo tan hwiehwian pobuom eno the short man count. Short man, you are not part of this one. They let me take some people out. Short man, the things I'm going to say, you are a short man, but you are not like you are a short man with a long neck. Into one time into short man, you are not part. I beg you, short man. This one the man is similar to short man. You are not part. I am taking you out. If you like, don't talk to me again. I'm tired. Madam for Bakupa me wo me now for United won kwa na party they be make us one problem. Short man, you are not part. I have taken you out. Akufo Addo form to hwiehwian pobuom ye wuro pobuogu masala jira Also, do chemo masala jam pobomu no ono hwehwe pobomu. All right, Mr. S. Inti short man for no omo dangerous computer na catch as Akufo Addo or anye law bia ewo eye France. Also a lawyer be sin there 1944 ni Akufo Addo. Ye hu nipa bia mane ba abonten ka say I practice with Akufo Addo. Dey na efe say we Akufo Addo practice before and the oye president of Ghana. Are you not going to be happy to write a book and insert that name in there, like even the president of Ghana, I practiced with him in France. Ebe sin there. From 1944 be sin there. Obiamba meka say Akufo Addo ye djuma of France. Kude brothers, lawyers, some of almost 300 to 500 lawyers. Obian kaso ni Akufo Addo ye djuma da. Na nado dan Akufo Addo or the galam say ni wi ni nemu ano kopie France. Kwasi asam nko na yatechire Akufo Addo amaye we die ne papa de ndien ene de ohun send bibi o enti na ye bre no enti de be chechire mu akire ene de udwa kwa ena Akufo Addo the story ena me chechire mu akire no aka de na abo 10 onhwe akọ calculation. Now mama nka se me chire Ghana for there's something I na ye my adwene enko ho. Now say o study Ghana your politics ye won kofo bi wo pa obono mu di abro ankende anke hio mo anko si ye di omo mpabro onim mpabro French ni be say labroute onim labroute ye ka se ye di mpabro a ye dom to ni atata obumu ni ye de moko hio mo to ni ye de bentu etuo mo ni ye de suru sa hio mo ni as ni di omo to boot ni ye de koraba hio mo tiko ye fre no labrouche French ka say ye di mpabro na ye tata obumu. These people are still in Ghana, and the most interesting thing is, so Oko back in 2016. Now Oko share the way some so-called journalists Etna Radio so Eka say these are the reasons in tia John Mahama eluzu election. And I say these are the reasons in tia we wanted John Mahama to leave power. Now would they compare and under Akufo Addo for 7 years. Now we just had these same people sitting on radio and they cannot tell you say Akufo Addo has done worse than John Mahama. I also tell you Sankofoi, I was Sanke Choma your buomukuomo. I'm telling you. In 2016, some gentlemen calling themselves journalists sat on TV and did a 2016 a year under review, and that was right after Mensa Otabo Muye campaign John Mahama free power. Remember, John Mahama was the president of the Republic of Ghana or the commander-in-chief of the Ghana Armed Forces. Remember, as I speak to you today, Mahamudu Bawumia is not the commander-in-chief of the Ghana Armed Forces. Mahamudu Bawumia is the head of the police council. In Tiakasa, the commander-in-chief of the Ghana Armed Forces or no nebe to me assign kratamia kontokwa. Mahamudu Bawumia can only sign a document for us to go to war when the Akufo Addo is not alive or dead. Inti John Mahama was the president of the Republic of Ghana, the commander-in-chief of the Ghana Armed Forces, from 2012 to 2016. And remember, from 2012 the year 2012, John Mahama MPP for we didn't go court till a year for 8 months. Inti technically, John Mahama was president for 3 years, 4 months. And now the president of the Republic. And these gentlemen sat on TV, especially Joy News. And me both video biachro. Muntiepa almost the year under review 2016. That was when they did everything possible for the John Dramani Mahama. Na omoka say he and also John Mahama ye tutia na omo ye campaign me tutia John Mahama. Enti oma ye campaign we then the beba also nyabutana wutie their reasons why intia e was John Mahama na omo ye campaign. People like Kweku Bako, people like Egbert Fable, people like Kwame Sefakan, people like halitosis Akwe Freno and did the same Akwe hosting news filing. These people sat on TV to tell Ghana for say the reason why they all made sure John Mahama and the NDC lost in the elections, was because of this and that. Now today we will dwell only on Egbert Fable. Momi anko tie Egbert Fable. Reason tia omoka say e was Ghana for eto aba editia editia John Mahama. These are the reasons.
So I wanted to read it to you to hear. Egbert, yes, your highs and lows.
For me, let me start from my lows. I think that my lows, like Kwame to my left, I think at the Munche 3 in the remission granted them by President Mahama was a very low point for me as a Ghanaian, and I also think that it's a very low point for the Mahama presidency. Mahama himself has gone on record to say that history will judge him. And perhaps I think that maybe from today we can begin that process of judging. The Muntie 3, certainly yes. I think that the 4th date, no matter the edict of charge, I think that the president should not have gotten himself entangled in that web at all. The presidency is the soul of the republic.
Okay.
And whether it was a bribe or a gift, let me say that President Mahama did not do well at all with that thing. I also say that the Smarties deal. I don't want to say that girl, like Okubaku will say that boy in Gambia.
Smart is the bus branding.
Yes.
Involving 3.6 million, 3.6 million of Ghana's oil revenue.
I think it was bad out and out. Cooked, created, looted, and shared. For me, I would say that. And then, of course, another controversial one, the Bugri Nabu money and car. Okubaku doesn't like to talk about the money because he has a different view, but he concedes the car. That the car is evidence. Yes. Evidence. Why should people close to the president in their quest to see the president re-elected for office? Why should you go into an opposition camp and pay bribe for Nana Akufo Addo to be denigrated as being, a tribalist? Now we've come full circle. Why? This is sad. It's sad. It's sad. It's sad. And I think that President Mahama should purge himself and his followers of some of these things so that we may consider an apostolic forgiveness of some of the sins of his presidency.
Okay, so you started with your lows, your highs.
Why? It's a gift.
The car and the money.
It's evidence. It's evidence.
Spent.
It will be used till there's a judicial inquiry.
The president give a pledge.
Yes.
That the vehicle and the money will be retained.
Yes,
definitely.
And I suppose including the one that.
So they shouldn't ask me.
You told us that the money
shouldn't ask me.
No, he chopped 100.
Yes. He didn't chop any 100.
This is your elite journalists, 2012, 13, 14, 15. These are the people who made you believe somebody munyana. And they were stating at the Kudiento Munyaya campaign, Tia John Mahama say, these were the people who were writing the stories in the newspapers. Kwekubako, Egbert Fable, Kwame Sefa Kanko Kroko, and utie omu reasons in Tia. Omu say it was not right to say Ghana for to Tia John Mahama. Omu say one Muntie 3. Omu say omu humida. Say Edena nipa miensa me journalist omo ka asem John Mahama pardon omo intenu kramponti John Mahama is the worst president in our history. Egbert Fable as one can know the year in review that time no ma ye joining Yama Akufo Addo be the president 2017 until they are back to tell you say ejuma na ye no engineer so ntia ye ma ye tutia Mahama ye ma ye tutia Mahama no enie omo kan omo say Ford gifts so Ford gift ni count na John Mahama is the worst president in the world. Na ebi see that John Mahama kwaje Ford gifts. Muntie some Jimmy ye tumu for amonte. These are the bases in tia almost one year campaign. M2 Mahama no. They were not talking about how the economy, Mahama, whatever he was doing, the schools he was building, the funds he was raising, the hospital. They don't care. They were telling us to say, we nema omunyina eba together ebe ye campaign tia Mahama. Omo ko say bus branding. Omo say adentina John Mahama kofa ayalolo bus ne bae no. Ya de Ghana sika branded bus no. Enti ka ho no omo ka say John Mahama de ne so krono for de bi si da. Egbert Fabio na ka. Kwame Sefa kan te wo, Kweku ba ko te wo. Almost said could enter on your campaign tia John Mahama no. Na just John Mahama no. Bugri na Abu Beka say ye John Mahama magical because obi pe power e no ka ho Bugri na Abu a na no sakramai bayi. Bugri na Abu ya. Enti sa nyoma na kire se na John Mahama ye kromfo. Sa afi enti na ende no. Usia MPP ni na obusa ne se na wo adentina ompeso beto ma John Mahama. O so ye hu dia Mahama ye obusa se de na o ye ontwinka. Sa nkwasiafo bebre omo ti radio so TV so omo say omo MPP journalist no de bia we say na Mahama bai de ehu de oyeye me say die na oyeye boni ben na John Mahama ye with facts. Oh na Mahama bai na ehu ana die na ohu ye For the own and compare Akufo Addo the way. Now, my somebody other part in Chro. Jandam no na me chro we mu na masebu kuro no we mu chro nka so mu buo mu ko mu.
Right from the presidency to the lowest placed supporter or member of a political parties in this republic. Okay. It is always
them and us.
Meneme. These people, that kind of thing. And so oftentimes you realize that people, struggle to say, look, he is our president. Yeah, I mean, you get ministers of state sit on radio and say, my president. But I thought that by law, President Mahama is president for all. And
president of the Republic.
Of the Republic. Nana Akufo Addo has said that he is going to be president for all. And knowing him, I know that's exactly what he would do. So let us, in our official communications, whether on the political soapbox, wherever we find ourselves, whether speaking to our partisan supporters, let us always, propel One Ghana. Let us always let that thing come out. It should not be the case that because Nana Akufo Addo is coming into government, only MPP affiliated contractors will benefit from contracts. It should not be the case. But unfortunately, I'm able to say that President Mahama in that sphere lived up to that bill. As in, well, these people don't belong to us. He may be far removed from it, but his appointees, the agenda they prosecuted, they make sure that they ring fence people, whether contractors, whether what have you. From
So you see, almost say Jejo Mahama ema omu kweku ba akokwa mi sefa kan mu gina asomo a omma Ghana for tutia Mahama no ye bia bi nsi dan se kwasiafo so mo poison mo bom nyina timutuo bra mo bra na kwasiafo ya almost say na John Mahama ne appointees no etna TV so a almost say my president inteno kwa no mo person mo beti because Akufo Addo president for all. I didn't tell John Mahama tesono. Na John Mahama appointed to me kase my president John Mahama. And nintina John Mahama ni pabonini. Afeba unkwasi afo moso mo yempeni for Ghana. Almost no montia say John Mahama appointed obi so onko ye adwuma no. Na nipa no AC settlement house na say nipa ni school. Na nipa no opportunity abetna TV say John Mahama is my president no. Almost say no crack account say John Mahama ye corrupt. No e say John Mahama ye yiyimu. John Mahama aye boni e bi nsida. Adentra ne appointee bi akotena baby say John Mahama my president. Almost say adentra o say John Mahama appointee sikasa kwasiafo. Wifo cocaine for a Jimmy for these were their bases. And almost say na NDC for say we against them. Oh, this is what they call they were setting the record to tell you say na enter for no actually say ka account for. This is what they were doing. They were speaking in language awonye smarter into the normal Kenyan say John Dramani Mahama be the president no na why they say we yi account for ama into it was them against us. Who are the us? The us are Akufo Addo. The us are the Kofomo. Into John Mahama be the president no now you the contract ma NDC contractors nkwa. But you see, these fools call themselves seasoned journalists. They could not make they could not state any evidence, any facts. Say, contractor way say, I went to secure this job, I went through the process, and I went through the tendering process, and John Mahama told me, say, may ya santini ana may ya dieninti. So they come sit there and they vaguely, and all the things they were saying, they could not provide one evidence. Kwame Sefa kan tiwo Kweku Baako tiwo and at the Egbert Fable tiwo. So they were positioning your mind say Akufo Addo there obey father for all and na kwasi ampanyi we ya bonipa 82 or 8 years on kan ho asem emmoa. What do you people want to say today? So these were the basis why I'm catch Ghana for say yantu John Mahama no evidence. Nothing. These fools, these smokers, these chain smokers, they are all chain smokers. Dirty old men. because of kakra mo bedine enkwara girls be tafreta from 20. They come and sit on TV, exercise long sleeve tan and they mislead Ghanaians. You see these fools, and then some form documents on the things they are saying. They can't provide and we have listened to such idiots, such ingrates, such tribal bigots, and they are bedru. You see the foolishness. That is why today they are finding it difficult to live in our space, because they were building their stomachs. And the Egbert Fabian for Nojuma, a petroleum commission said the honor that a boa newspaper Troy and 2,000. And this is what I keep telling you, Ghanaians, the young ones. Don't let these old fools, their balls have shrunk to say, to come and sit on radio and talk nonsense and walk. They are rich now. They all have mansions. But Jimmy, mo papa nom we mo ma e ba be ka kire mo say mo papa nom e bra be no mo boy, but the adwuma nkwasiafo here so metena TV so etwa won tro. These fools you are seeing on the TV, their kids will come and tell you, papa bra be no boy, because o papa Jimmy, o papa nto abapa, o papa tie o mo papa nkwasiasem and then ama wo ho kire. So these fools will end up in the evening and say coffee shop mafias. Me, I don't respect any of these dirty people. If I don't respect these people, I will not respect these people and I'll die and go to hell. I'll do that. Because there's nothing better about these people. These people call themselves seasoned journalists. They came to make these statements. No evidence. Nothing. But they were trying to let people. And Akufo Addo and Akufo Addo. Record by Boni Akufo Addo break here. What hasn't Akufo Addo broken? Which law on this land? I have a friend in Ghana. Ka adeba kwa Akufo Addo enyeye ana adeba kwa Mahama ya across Akufo Addo boni kura bako boni Akufo Addo edi, and these fools, they cannot come out and say hey. Under John Mahama, they used to do year in review 2016. They were reviewing John Mahama, dirty old man. Moto kan mamotiom kan munyenye to say nkusie mo betena TV so a enkwasiasam kono nonom jot mutidi da mo girls so ne mo yire no ma onsa no matwom kon mo no bon wusie. Dirty stinking old men. You people don't want to speak truth. Today the year winning there no, is it smaller than John Mahama's or John Mahama's Diana Namokano and no air bigger? On said yes in the name Sida. But nobody is speaking, and these fools will tell you we are Christians, we are Muslims. Or say Yankopon kumu tochini and mama yare na mu bra Ghana for breno. It is because of you fools. Matna Ghana maso song kwasia for womanum kankan door to four way maso so see where we are today. Now egigim, we are doing calculation fast. Now look at this one. Near to Chrome ha ena yetie san kwasia sebuwe.
I think that the most effective way that we can have a debt portfolio for our country that is sustainable is to make sure that the NDC loses this election in December. Kicking out the NDC will be the surest way we can to protect the debt structure of our country. Why do I say that? In the 4 years in which they have been in power, they have more than tripled our national debt from 9 billion CDs, which was at the end of Kufuor's period, to 28 billion CDs today. In the 4 years of the NDC administration, they have contracted more debt than all the governments of our country, from Kwame Nkrumah right down to John Agyekum Kufuor. That is the nature of the situation confronting our country. And I dare say the president would agree with me that without the rebasing of the economy, the debt profile of our country today will be getting towards epic proportions. So we need, when we're talking about the debt profile of our country, to bear in mind two things. One, the areas into which the debt goes. And I agree with some of my previous speakers that the productive investment and the rate of return on them is a critical one. Equally critical is the value for money of the transactions that the debt brings about. We need to look at that. I've given some examples of public procurements that are taking place in our country on an extremely inflated rate. Once again, we need to look at this. You're talking about loans that are given, and inside the loans, the arrangements for determining value for money remain very opaque and unclear. How can you persuade the Ghanaian people that debts are being contracted in these circumstances that are there to push forward their future? We intend to be extremely disciplined about the contraction of debt. We're first of all going to respect the teachings of the national budget and treat it as precious. We will not be stepping outside the constraints of the budget. We are going to make sure that we reduce considerably areas of corruption in the construction and execution of some of these projects. These are the critical matters that our people are looking for leadership on. That we are not going to get ourselves in airline and other aircraft and other transactions that leave so many questions to be answered. The 28 billion is even without the latest Chinese. Thank you so much.
Akufo Addo. Nano pokwa was akwa utise kwose nkwase akeka na okaro but we referee to nyashi. Nano pokwa was hey na dem be nyina aboda behu ai otoro wa edi no so say infantili be say ohwe onim say awo must na yeka kan dem no. This is Akufo Addo. So am for ma menjudwam. Na nado dan kwa Akufo Addo debate na mahama wo ho 2012 was see. Adi kudin tell say Ghana for kra pam NDC aban free aban no so kra mponi say say since say Ghana ye chechire ye no NDC aban dwuma o modi no nyina enso eni na de mane ye ja ehu enina no say NDC aban ajo Mahama da no oma bobesia Emma sa besia no se wutie Akufo Addo say from Kwame Nkrumah press beduru Akufo abreso no na ebesia Akufo jae no na eye 9 billion Ghana cedis. Utie ni o say from Nkrumah's time to J.A. Kufuor's time o say na Ghana besia da ho no na eye 9 billion. Now 2012 no na NDC for abobesia amana kodu 28 billion. International time no oya analysis na opeso kire say time na okasa na Ghana loan besia akodu 28 billion no na efri Kwame Nkrumah abreso ebesi de eye John Mahama abreso 2012. Time John Mahama every power no na eye NDC are buying from Kwame Nkrumah breso ebesi John Mahama breso no after the ewo book we mu nyina after what is in this book, after what you see in this book, e-blogs, Kotoka, hospitals, Pokwase, Kotokraba, universities, regional hospital, district hospital, airports, Commander Sugar Factory, overpass, there undercast, there no. John Mahama in 2016 from Kwame Nkrumah time, ebesi John Mahama so na Ghana abobesia 52 billion. 52 billion. Into uti Akufo Addo kasa na say and this for bon dena from Kwame Nkrumah abreso afi wati and Akufo Addo president from Kwame Nkrumah abreso ebesi enne time Akufo Addo ba 2016 beji power no na a car from Nkrumah abreso ya bodo na 54 billion. Mene wo ka say na nado danko Akufo Addo beji eye akonwa kese bedi ye no. And then from 2017 to 2023, ending of December, a car yabo 1 trillion. From Kwame Nkrumah breso, ebesi Akufo Addo breso. From Kwame Nkrumah breso, time Akufo Addo beso na 54 billion, 52 billion na da ho. From Kwame Nkrumah breso, ebedu time Akufo Addo ebeso no, John Mahama Jama no, near the Ghana car diet so 54 billion. Now, from a year, John Mahama breso ojai a year 2 minutes ma. I just want to be clear. So because 54 billion na eno ye a car and I said a car John Mahama boy from 2010 to a year 2016 and at 2012 to 2016. Meaning, so okay, Ghana de nyina ebe kan de John Mahama boy no na 120 billion. So you need to get that. Enti ofri Kwame Nkrumah breso abedu time a John Mahama ya keka ni nyina bom na ye jama Akufo Addo no na ya 120 billion ye fa say that eno ebe clear amount Akufo Addo be so ma ko John Mahama danema no say je from eye Kwame Nkrumah breso ebesi John Mahama breso na 120 billion no and Ghana eka ye de 1 trillion enti what 1 trillion every a year 120 billion more ubenya saying Nana Addo Akufo Addo has borrowed over 800 billion in the space of 7 years. I feel what you say. So what's 1 trillion? Let's run it up. What's 1 trillion? Every let's say 120 billion mu. Nana Addo Akufo Addo ne MPP akwa na long sleeve said the Ojija Petechisika ewo inkinkenzu. Ye did to me man from 2017 no. From 120 billion John Mahama Jama no Nana Addo Akufo Addo at the Ghana Sika could do 1 trillion. Now so what John Mahama from Nkrumah time is John Mahama so 52 billion free more. 120 billion free more. Nana Addo Akufo Addo ne Mahamudu Bawumia we ni tisa watch. Bawumia ni tisa Casio. Oma Bobesia 880 billion. 880 billion. Bawumia ni tisa kura osi ensama ni tumi. Ubi just sikano wa ya kwasi ebi se Mahama ba ni yehu abuofunu sikano wa weja yedi matama magimi ndira Mahama ba ni yehu ana de na hu ye kireye Mahama ba ni yehu de esiye ken de na esiye na yenka de esi Akufo Addo ne Bawumia mbre so bojo se nkwasi politics no mo betumi aya amra ba beduru ha biem ye twa so Jandam is dead. Enti se wuti Akufo Addo a na okasa no say you know what bibia friend no eye value for money brofo no okeka wanum wi no abegina ho or say public procurement no ono obedi president a obe make sure public procurement ne de eye wano a chese obi ntumi mbuga na bukata. He talked about extreme discipline for the when it comes to collection of loan. Say Ghana yebehwehwe yenwoma mu ye ama ye ni ada ho na ye mbɔ nkwasi abesia. John Mahama 54 billion besia boy obetuma kire oni nyina de odi aye enie kwasi afo mu hweme modwa me am an American o American isu di watamatie no no to heaven kwasi afo mu ntie John Mahama 54 billion no de odi ye nyina de gu ha no Nana Addo Akufo Addo 880 billion ebusa se kwasi afo mu nkire ya mo se an free SHS mu hwinim. Interfere with reality no. These are people who are liars. Obutratro. Bawumia ebe adapt to the same thing. They have no message. They are liars, they are thieves, they are criminals. And this is the way I can make it basic for you to understand. Now look at this. Ejapame Sakotena TV so, and this is what he was saying.
Because of the difficulty in our economic circumstances, he couldn't buy fuel to power plants. We slept in darkness for 4 years. His solution was to add more capacity at take or pay rates such that today, as of last month, the debt component in our energy sector, in the region of some 1.3 billion, 35% of that is as a result of excess capacity payments that are due to the IPPs. So his credibility is in question. His competence is on the record. Ghanaians have encountered him, they know him, and I don't think that he has anything to offer. Because of the difficulty in our economic circumstances, he couldn't buy fuel to power plants. We slept in darkness for 4 years. His solution was to add more capacity at take or pay rates such that today, as of last month, the debt component in our energy sector, in the region of some 1.3 billion, 35% of that is as a result of excess capacity payments that are due to the IPPs. So his credibility is in question. His competence is on the record. Ghanaians have encountered him, they know him, and I don't think that he has anything to offer. In any event,
Ejapame saya o MPD now also a problem o. Ejapame saya kasana also a deputy energy minister. Now let's break it down. Na me change Ejapame say o ejimijimi. Okotena TV3 no say John Mahama breso na John Mahama ontumi nye den ontumi fuele our plants. Osina John Mahama entumi nye sika kura entom fango enfengu eye Ghana enyirem kanea efidie mu ema ne ma enyirem kanea. Na John Mahama entumi anye sa no afe no okọ n'anim no John Mahama afe de osaye den oye ade more eye den extra capacity. You can say excess capacity. Or say John Mahama na on to me for fangu engu ye machines manima yenkaniano. The same John Mahama no edrum rebino afei na ode ede ode fangu eguma mana broso. Ema sebio inyirem kania na broso. One person making one statement, one location, one mic, and then he's speaking madly. One person saying John Mahama, he could not do what? He could not fuel our plant. The same person is saying John Mahama overfueled the plant. In your mechanic mane broso into John Mahama ediabone. Also, Jimmy, I keep telling you, these people are not smart. Partner, Jimmy for the Dawson, into one year smarter. The ignorant masses, no, they speak to them. But we are not ignorant masses. We take our time to listen. So one person, also John Mahama could not fuel our plant into the kanya dum so baye. The same person, John Mahama, he overfueled the plant into there was too much power, excess capacity, excess power. So which is which? Now, Sir John Mahama overfuel ye machines or power. Now the excess power and that's excess fuel and excess capacity no in your mechanic broso no more de ye dien. They be able to question we are. Then some people will sit somewhere else and say, John Mahama is not competent. He gave us too much energy. And I'm not doing same coin. And I'm not doing too much on Queen Madian over here. Ubet me out on the Akano. Ubet me so saving for China. But if I saw him say Namno, I dos won't come to do no. Ubet my friend neighbor. Now I can say, oh, Nam do one Tom Pibiata, Mumajin to Anamwa. So what man tem now man for Penamari. Na se sebio oh enam dodo egu nkwem na abroso na enam a wo the same enam na neighbors na we omo sika wo mo ho omo penam ni bia to omo nya bi nto na wo won enam a ke se abroso wa ye nkwan ma enam ni titani de o ya ne se wo fra neighbors ka se me wonam o injesia de me ma bo ba ko a 10 Ghana na me boa e kire wagimi na enam na esi wanim no obeka se obawi abra wa men. Now let's go back into 2018. I hope I'm right. Akufo Addo. Na yentie Joy News report, and this is about the 2018 Fitch Financial Times Summit for African continent countries. Now, 2018 Nana Dankwa Akufo Addo echo UK Fitch for ya no organize an event in Akufo Addo koye. Okoye no, he went to speak about the excess capacity. Now, I'm going to show you a part of Akufo Addo's speech. Then I will show you the report, because when you look at the report, Joy News and other media houses, in the report, this is what they actually wrote. So I'll read the report now, and this is from Graphic Online, 2018, October 9th. President Nana Akufo Addo has said in London that Ghana has learned bitter lessons from the colonial past and will now open its eye wide when dealing with other countries and investors. Oko Unima said a story neka had the facts no. He disclosed that Ghana had become a net exporter of electricity, supplying Burkina Faso with 100 megawatts of electricity following the prudent and strategic management of the energy sector, which he thought was in crisis and on the verge of collapsing the economy. Nana Dankwa Akufo Addo in 2018, Eko Jina event national, Satan have had no power fresh, then okay, or say Ghana at this point, yet to supply excess electricity to Burkina Faso. 100 megawatt, he was specific about the amount. So, Ejapemesa saw your energy minister, Jimmy. No, I bet TV so TATM. Your own leader, who is a drunk, went to the UK and told the world that the excess power you guys came to meet, you are selling the excess power. So why are you now blaming John Mahama? Said he overproduced oil for the machines? Because your own president, who is dumb like yourself, was able to tell the world that I am the president of Ghana. When we came into office, we came to meet excess power. We did not waste it. We are selling the excess power to Burkina Faso, 100 megawatts. So the question here is, Ejapamesa ni asam na wakano engineer sono any dien. Now, when you listen to Akufo Addo, when he went to the event, I'm going to play Akufo Addo at the event, and I'm also going to play the Joy News reporter they filed for you to know, say, they themselves made Ghanaians understand the excess power, so-called excess power they came to meet. They are selling it. So if you have come and you've met excess power and you are selling it, how can you come and sit on TV and say John Mahama is incompetent because you came to meet excess power? Wait, Jimmy, it means you don't understand what you are talking about. So when you listen to Akufo Addo, this is what he said.
President Akufo Addo indicated that with some degree of success, his government has stabilized Ghana's currency despite the recent challenges of a stronger dollar and has reduced significantly inflation from 15.4% it inherited in 2016 to 9.9%. He further indicated that a number of tax cuts have brought relief to businesses and at the same time reduced substantially the country's fiscal deficit from 9.3% in 2016 to 5.9% in 2017, with a projected 4.5% deficit this year.
The relative success of the implementation of our business-friendly policies and the availability of affordable and reliable power has ensured industry, whose growth rate stood at a negative 0.5% in 2016, grew by 17.7% in 2017, the highest sectoral growth in the economy.
He added that a number of deliberate interventions to reduce the cost of doing business, reduce the stress associated with setting up businesses, and formalizing the economy have been put in place.
The e-business registration system, the paperless port clearance system, the digital property addressing system, the mobile interoperability platform, and the issuance of the National Identification Card will all help quicken the pace of change to bring us into the technology-driven era and make our businesses competitive.
Well, it's been 30 minutes for the president to lobby world leaders who've gathered here on the need to consider Ghana as part of their investment, program for the year and beyond. President Akufo Addo had 30 minutes to put his case across before world leaders. In this particular meeting was presidents from across the world, CEOs of multinational companies who all gathered here, and the theme is simple: invest in Africa. President Akufo Addo used the occasion to spoke about the many incentives that have been put together by government to attract foreign direct investment, the removal of bureaucracy in terms of doing business in Ghana, the lowering of tax, as well as the cutting down on electricity tariff. Also, he made mention of the fact that Ghana is open to do business. The one district, one factory, banking for food and jobs was high on the agenda in President Akufo Addo's presentation. He also talks about the fact that after a careful review of the many power purchase agreement between government and some power producers, they've been able to save the country almost $7 billion. And currently, Ghana has started the process of exporting 100 megawatts of power to La Côte d'Ivoire, giving the impression that Ghana is ready to do business. Or a careful review of the many power purchase agreement between government and some power producers, they've been able to save the country almost $7 billion. And currently, Ghana has started the process of exporting 100 megawatts of power to La Côte d'Ivoire, giving the impression that Ghana is ready to do business.
So that is the report from Joy News. Inti Ejapame Saika said Mahama eto infidie too much, and sa infidie no take or den or here's the word, what's the word they use? Take or pay plan. John Mahama cry infidie too much by Ghana, and infidie no, those infidie they were consuming too much, they were working too much, and they were generating excess power. A Japanese point no take or pay. But 2018 Nana Dankwe Akufo Addo was in the UK telling the world Say we are producing excess power. Enyinamunkania no tumi no yenya bebre dodo ema ye ton bi ma Burkina any Ivory Coast. So how can a minister and a deputy energy minister say on board dama say enya nkwasia politics no ye enya anopa wi bi no anom no otietie ma, how can he come sit on TV and say John Mahama take or pay? No, it is something that has gone against Ghana, because the take or pay, you were making money out of it, and your own Lilliput, your own Okpu, one toy president, went in 2018 to the UK and told them that you are selling the excess power. You people have not brought in any machines. You people have not been able to expand our energy sector. Somebody expanded it, left a lot of resource and energy. You people came in and met a lot of power and some in excess. You started selling it and using it to take care of your needs, like drugs, take care of your sickness, taking care of your corrupt needs. You have turned around to come sit on TV and crazily say John Mahama is not competent because take or pay. Ochi, Oma udi omuso a yes second takra no. Anke John Mahama come da kaniem. Jimmy ejapa. You speak Jimmy Musa Fantini awe Jimmy Ahantani awe Jimmy. You think say the party belongs to you. And people now tini pemu Jimmy wono. E you 2 forward for the £700 and all the tea. We are Hantani you. We are chain kuramanipa. In time people for no your chain. So maintain your level adole and let us speak sense to the people. John Mahama, he did what he could do. He was able to save our energy sector. Yeah, we say excess power now, but on and sikano way and chain. All right, let's move on. Yeah, near Pesi near who don't want beka. Yeah, we are near decided who deserve to die and who deserve to live. This is how you build a nation. At the Korean TMP before so JM say they know JM is going to take an action that will change the destiny of Ghana for life. He's got nothing to lose. All that he has to do is make sure he deepens our democracy. That's all. How do you deepen it? Let us, the people, see how transparent we can fight corruption. And that is what he has said. Or say, he is going to give the power to us. And through the commissions, we will have the power to decide. Dampari hanging and asi enjano. So just hanging and asi enjamo, and the power will belong to us. Because Akufo Addo Jimmy for he will not do it. Yet to Kromha and Yabusa Joe Wise say, Nanado Danko Akufo Addo, ya body patru, Akufo Addo Nkasaye, inti en how. Ujo Wise, uye penini, inti adewe how. Joe Wise be anoka say, inti ye kuomwa inti dien, omu ye armed robbers, kwasiani tisadje. Jimmy for if you say two na ball mon yambo asante form tibe kwai tuo enti kwasia bi tibe bi say Kevin mi mu ade adentra Kevin e kasati ajo wise because ednipa na ebo mu tuo no kwasia mpanyi enye wabusuani na wotumi na odema ajo wise no okaso nkotena parliament on fanye den on famfo president nkwasia de a wodi so. And this is basic. There's no fundamental rights in Ghana. People don't have the right. Ghanaians and foreigners. Today, I saw this story. In fact, we need to look at this story. And it's got to do with that lady, that foreigner now, almost say, no. Now, when you look at the story, on the surface, you're Ghanaian, as a Ghanaian, you want to defend your country. And I'm this lady, I almost say, no. This lady, I don't care about the new force and whatever that comes with it. That's not my problem. I am looking at this matter from a purely human rights angle. Because, so because I'm saying new force, in Ghana's books, when you go to the Registrar General, when you go to the EC, there's nothing a friend in new force. So me, I don't know anything called new force until new force no ebi omanka sa say ya register new force bi a party a way. So as I speak today, me my dear friend in new force, because in no book in Ghana and they actually say this is new force, a supermarket, a political party, and that's a day. So I don't even care about the new force until it is officially adored and said this is the new force. Where do they represent? Are they representing as a political party, or they represent as a church or a group? And Sana. So with me, I'm looking at this issue from a purely humanitarian ground, human rights ground. The corner, that's what I am looking at this matter from. Yes, say Ababa Yabi. Wabekasa as a spokesperson for a group called New Force. And there is no document in Ghana. There is no document in Ghana that bears the name New Force registered in Ghana. So I don't know any New Force. Unless you know New Force and you can come and show me a document saying, say, New Force, you're registered on Kwada, so and it belongs to this person. And then the maker say yes. But as I speak to you today and as I look at this matter, I don't know any document that says New Force is a legitimate force. Until that is done, so I'm going to look at this matter. And we are Ghana near. That's how we are. Sometimes, because where they are there yet chrome and wabana immigration force on chrome are they yet chrome no, it is fine. I know a few. I know majority of you Ghanaians living in Ghana. You forget yourselves so easily. Menokasa nadwi ochira no patututu ye wo obi a oko UK embassy e wo UK akopre asylum. Ni statement ne say otigana amanfo bi tata no or pe baby akosue. Inti okache UK for say momfa muni ento nyame anim na momma me baby ntina me krom Ghana mempe ho inti obekọ Germany na mpreko bi guo na omo yenya omo hwe o Ghana yemfa ensanka omo wetuma toton nsuom jimifo na no sanga se ball abeg kwasiampe ya na hokokọ se abe wotwe nkwan wakọ wura Germany ena waka kire brodi fita se me krom no ma jimi inti esia no pese omukume inti me ma baby ntina o siki for asylum ne tu nyina ehyen. It could be you tomorrow. But there are so many reasons. Amaya yenimo other countries. Eji Ghana for say we can allow you to live here because there's something in this world called protecting lives and being human. Be human. So you need to understand people's fundamental rights and being a humanitarian. And I said somebody the fundamentals. What makes the person also like you. You need to respect my fundamentals. And as a human being, my right as a human being. Intimacy respect to dia and no enemy as humans. Into the moment ebia obehwe obi de waye any sibia otie and asibia ni kalatie and you use that against the person, then you're making a mistake. Especially the most important thing is when you don't believe in what the person believes in and you want to use that as a weapon or weaponize that against an individual who is not from your country or who is with you, then you are making the greatest mistake. And this is clearly about what we are talking about today. This young lady, your friend Shalima Abusi, and then Nasib Yinaba. Obia Kebi, where dear Wabagana, Wabadian. Now, when you look at the matter critically, the Ghana Immigration Service and the presidency, they are basically making us Ghanaians look bad. And you might not understand in diplomacy. You might not understand the actions of the government and how it is going to affect you tomorrow. You have no idea. You see, when you see these stories being reported, I follow the stories on BBC, stories on some international channels, Al Jazeera. You think it is good. It is the worst stories, sir. And then these countries around the world, they will not come to you and fight you. They will not send troops to come and shoot you. They will use these things to make life difficult for you, the Ghanaian who want to live in another country. In the end out here, now I will say the air cost where the of Belgium was said hey. These are some of the things that in Krobisha. So Eka say you are a Ghanaian, you are seeking asylum because of your country, the way they respect the fundamental rights of foreigners and the way they are human and they respect people's view. We also think when you come here, this is how you will live. It goes beyond somebody's personal issue with this lady. It goes beyond a government's personal or myopic banter with a citizen of another country who has resident permit and her parents are residents in Ghana. That's the most important thing. You people don't know what you are doing. You don't know what Akufo Addo is doing to you people. What is happening? Clearly a manipulation from the Jubilee House. Nowhere. Never. Aisha Wang Bagana Botuo. Aisha Wang immigration issues. Aisha Wang British law or the fake passport Bagana or by a fake marriage. Aisha Wang Betu Galamse. Aisha Wang Bese Yensu. Aisha Wang wasn't treated like this. Ask yourself why. Because some people think that they can use the power they have today. And what Akufo Addo and this immigration office is doing, or they are doing today, they are building a very difficult platform or exit point for you people in Ghana. Especially the young ones in Ghana. You have no idea. You have no idea. Now, when you look at the story carefully, you will see, say, the Ghana Immigration Service, they don't have a case. It is purely politics. Every one of us, we respect our country and we respect the laws. But the moment you try to weaponize the law against people, it becomes dangerous. And what the Immigration Service through the Jubilee House are doing today, they are weaponizing Emra and also protecting Menewo. They are using that against other people that will go against us as a nation. This thing you are seeing there is not a joke. What we are seeing in Ghana, unless you have not learned international diplomacy, unless you don't understand what is happening, but what the Immigration Service is doing, it is the worst. And I may say, young Ghanaians, young people like you will suffer. Today, tomorrow, somebody has an interview in another country for something. The person might have listened to this. You might be denied. There is the international community in Ghana watching what is happening. They have all the embassies lined up and they are watching. The diplomats are watching. They are writing reports. They are seeing how this thing is panning out. They know where it is coming from. They know it is very political. They know Ghana today does not believe in fundamental human rights, especially Obia own free Ghana, Wajatum Abetna Ghana, because those people, to their people, are living in other countries and they look at these things. And so don't think, say, oh, where the a girl be and a soccer can't send me, hey, you are making a big mistake. Now, when you read this story carefully, the Ghana Immigration Service, they are making the biggest mistake. And if they are thinking of sending this woman out without thinking through, they should stop it. They should stop it. We have laws, but they should be very tactical about what they are doing. Now, we read this story now. This is what the story says. And maybe I make sure a spokesperson for the New Force political movement, Madinka Kachrem in Ghana, until that thing called New Force comes out with a legitimate document to unveil themselves. So Mimi Nimo be a friend of New Force. I don't know anything called New Force. Because me say New Force a school, say organizational, say NGO, say political party, nobody can bring a document and say this is New Force, this is their office. What they are doing, no foreigner can do it because they are a political party or they are an NGO. Nobody. So as we speak today, what is New Force in Ghana? Until you explain it to me. And so Eddie Akase will be a foreigner or the New Force for Bejuma and Mran. As we speak in Ghana, why in the bet match have a document that says a New Force is a political party or it is this? I don't know. So I could be representing 7th Force. When you ask me where is the 7th Force, I might not have a document to show you, say, a party, a political party, a group, a NGO. I might not have. So there's nothing that you can prosecute me and say, because of that thing I am representing, which does not exist as I speak to you. You are taking an entrenched position to make me suffer. You are making a big mistake. And these are the things the diplomats, the international corps, they are looking at. They are looking at the issues. Now, Shalima Abusi has been rearrested after a charge of obtaining a student permit with false declaration against her was withdrawn. Now, almost say, Abayuano, Ora Ghana with a false declaration against her after obtaining a student permit with false declaration into a man student permit. Now the original student permit in Ghana and say or catch there almost say or declare something different or can say oba abeko school and then the original so your man access to enter Ghana. Now you see a seminar omudi jina no and immigration for omudi assembly court no oma ko yi assembly free court. Now, so do be court. na se meka se Kevin Taylor e kromfo na ochinam de Kevin Taylor ko gina court na court start so obedi asem no na nipa na de Kevin Taylor court so e kromfo no wo sa baka se matwe asem na sign. That means in gina so na wo gina so ka se Kevin Taylor e kromfo no, you don't believe in it. Meaning you don't believe say Kevin Taylor bokro no anase waye bibie etirambra no. So for the Ghana Immigration Service to even go to court on their own issue almost present here to go and withdraw, no, they have accepted that the girl in the first place has not committed a crime. Ebi awon tiasie Ghana Immigration at the court and no mako eko yi case no what did the court so abokro no and mo yi case the moment I withdraw case no willingly, it means you are telling the court that you know something, what I said I don't have evidence to back it into nipano or nye. So when you withdraw, it means the person is what is clean. Onye adebia entiamra. Now, I'll say the Belgian national was arraigned last week for allegedly presenting false documents of being a student of the Ghana Christian University College to obtain a resident permit. In terms of the Korean court and say, almost say immigration for the say, almost say. Na omujidi say anaso monjina so say abayiwa no or the lady no she obtained a permit no by telling Ghana immigration say na oko school. Enti say Ghana immigration ewo njina so say ade no eye no krea. Why would they go to court and withdraw that? There should be a reason. It is also story I'll say the case was expected to go into full trial on Tuesday, that is today, after she was granted bail to the tune of 20,000 Ghana cedis. Now concern then a court tinasem so na yedwudwa asem nim. And upon anko moko gina court na one immigration for by say ye na dey asem by atwa sign, meaning technically in that courtroom the lady is not guilty of any crime. Technically in that courtroom sa lady no is not guilty. That foreigner is not guilty because the Ghana Immigration Service has told the court, we don't have evidence to prosecute. We don't have evidence to convince the court that she has committed a crime. It means legitimately at that moment, she has not committed any crime. Now, this is what happened. When you read the story, now but prosecutors from the Immigration Service led by ACI Addo Asenso revealed in court that they have instructions to withdraw the case. And yet the immigration for lawyer now oba court no or see yama omo instructions is omo case in sign. Meaning whichever power that told them to withdraw the case knew for a fact say the Ghana Immigration Service did not have the evidence to prosecute the lady. And that means say a lawyer to say the whole immigration be a power ni free no a catch and say mom prosecute no power na atiase say they don't have the basis to prosecute the lady. Into the moment now can say no oba na nye bone ombu Ghana mraso say come to gina court show evidence say oba na say mameka be nchiro so ugina bontene court abontene ka say obi akromfo a ye mu na tan o eche we wura court wo de enkrata ni nyina so akoka kire judge ne say we ye kronfo for the judge to study and say the bu an ten into so nyina bonten ka say oba we bu mra until you present your facts and your evidence. The Ghana Immigration Service could not and they withdrew. That means yet the lady has not committed a crime at that moment. Now so this is what happened. The accused was thus discharged and the case struck out as withdrawn. But moment after the accused stepped out of the courtroom, an immigration van picked her up. But moment after the accused stepped out of the courtroom, an immigration van picked her up. City News source with the prosecution noted that she was rearrested despite the decision to withdraw the case. In Tomupia court, immigration for ya omo ka say omo ni asem bia against girl no opie free court as a free lady no who is legit, who legally is legit to live in Ghana no, the same immigration office for the omo car came to pick the lady up, rearrested her. Meaning immigration for no court case oba no omo ni evidence to prosecute no, they have been able to park a car outside or step out omo search no. Now The lawyer who represented this lady, a human rights lawyer, Honorable Francis Xavier Sosu. Now, do you know what happened? And anytime I will say, what the Ghana Immigration Service they have done, no, it is dangerous for you, Ghanaian. You, the Ghanaian living in France. You, the Ghanaian living in Russia. You, the Ghanaian living in the US, in UK. You will have that problem. But, Ebia Momonti Asye. Intimojin say, Akufo Addo abano, the omo yeno. They are killing you. They are sealing opportunity holes for you guys. Now, so tie lawyer now or representing lady now, Sosu Osi, and I quote him. Her lawyers, led by Francis Xavier Sosu, accused the Immigration Service of plotting to deport the accused. Omoba Bontinebe Chigano and lawyer Sosu said, Abi, the Immigration Service for Omo Yeno, adribia omafa. Say, chinchinia ne chin, girl no, omefa kuti kwan biso, ama ne free Ghana. The issue here is, Emrabia ebo Ghana ho ban no. The laws that govern Ghana, we are not supposed to use the law against people. And we are not supposed to make people use the law against us. So, se uko obi kroma as a Ghanaian who right UK, you expect to say the laws in the UK and I say in the United Kingdom no, will protect you. And the laws will also not go against Eddie, and I say will not be used against the citizen of the United Kingdom. Into the law should be something that at the end of the day, no, we will not abuse it. And there are so many ways you can abuse the law. You can abuse the law through looking at somebody's color. You can abuse the law by making sure say one ma obi affect a specific perception. You can abuse the law by being political with it. And what we are seeing here, no, we are seeing that the Ghana Immigration Service, no, after withdrawing the case and parking a van right after the court to take this lady away unwillingly. The girl wasn't ready to go. The lady was even abused outside the courtroom. And the most dangerous part of this whole thing. Now, when you watch this video, now we'll show the way they basically went to pick this lady up. A lady who is unarmed. A lady who has not fought anybody. She's not committed any crime. Walking out of a court that has set her free. And Ghana Immigration Service understanding and knowing how the international standards, how it is when it comes to immigration issues, you know. See the way they went to the court premises to pick this lady up.
Charlie, move it. Please. Is that how you do your work? Is that how you do your work? You are saying that you are saying that stop. Why are you stop? Is that how you do your work? 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 Wait. Don't go to the car. Is that how you do your work? Oh my God. Look at this. Guns. Assault rifles. They claim that they have revoked the permit here. Nobody of right. Charlie, move it. Please. Is that how you do your work? Is that how you do your work? You are saying that you are saying that stop. Why are you stop? Is that how you do your work? 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 Wait. Don't go to the car. Is that how you do your work? Oh my God. this. Guns, assault rifles. They have revoked.
This is Ghana and Akufo Addo. And see these foolish immigration officers. See these foolish immigration officers. We have people crossing the border in Burkina Faso, entering Ghana and killing people. Fulani for air cross the border. They don't want to go there and stop them. See the foolishness. Missy Ghana Immigration Service for Fulani for Burkina border. Every day they are trooping in. They are killing Ghanaians. Samira Baumia for they are crossing the border in Burkina Faso. They are killing Ghanaians. They come in. They kill their cattle. They steal their women. These Ghana immigration officers, they cannot go there and stop it. See the nonsense. The lady, was she at resisting arrest? Was she fighting anybody? So what is all this rifle and all that? And you think this picture speaks well of the Ghana Immigration Office? Do you think this picture speaks well of you, a Ghanaian? Do you think internationally, when they bring out the International Human Rights Abuses Charter, do you think you will place well? These are some of the things we basically Ghanaians, any young ones, you took bruchira. It wouldn't say Akufo Addo, they are all or the protector. Akufo Addo is going to make it difficult for you people. Now, the Ghana Immigration Office, they have released a statement. The reason why in Tia, Omoba Court, I'm reading show, and this is what they released. At time, when you read the document, now read this statement. Now also Jimmy, they are making everybody know say they are ignorant about what they are doing, and yeah, it is sad. It is serious. It's pathetic. It hurts. So what to kakra na unim sibi ewiasetia. This is despicable. This lady, her parents, they have residence in Ghana. Her parents. Now let me ask you, Ghana, about 1.5 million Chinese they go Ghana. And I'm Do you want to tell me say every single Chinese be over Ghana no the omo chogu omo pass omo immigration forms no no Ghana? They should go and see. We have almost 3 million Chinese in Ghana. Almost 3 million. Now ask yourself, if the Ghana Immigration Service say oba way ekaso oba school and have they told you only a short Chinese from Ghana the things they wrote in their immigration forms to say omo be no Ghana no omo. Every single thing these people wrote in their document, when you go to the immigration office, is different from what they are doing in Ghana. I am not defending crime. I am not saying people should break our law and walk. But this thing you are seeing is politically motivated. What you are seeing, it is politically motivated. And yeah, President, Akufo Addo Bagomiamunesi omunyewe at time. And this so-called idiot is called a human rights lawyer. Now let's read the letter from the Ghana Immigration Service. Now, who read the letter now? This is what is in the letter. This is where everybody we are bigger than CNN. And this you know, say you are messing out. Send by assembly bana can I'll be hundi AC. Akufo Addo NMPP way. The only Bremono, you have no idea. Today, BBC, Al Jazeera, MSN, they are all trying to look at this story. Do you know what it's going to cause? The students around the world, you have no idea. Some people tomorrow, you're seeking for asylum. And the diplomats in Ghana, they are watching all these things. As I'm speaking, they are watching me. And they know. Because my president, Jimmy, the boss of the immigration, is an idiot. He does not understand. Now, so we read a statement Ghana Immigration Service release here. Reference number here very important. GISHQ 0PSA224V.III. Reference number no date near 18th of December 2023. That means a endra date. Now we read the letter now. I'm say revocation of permit. Abusi Shalimar PPT/N0GB0123577. This is a letter from the Ghana Immigration Service. I keep telling people I am an American. So when you insult me, you are wasting your bullets. letter almost say, you are hereby informed that the Controller General of Immigration, acting in accordance with Section 22A of Immigration Act 2000, Act 573, has revoked your residence permit on grounds of fraudulent misrepresentation. Almost say, almost revoke Obano resident permit. If we say, one can and check Ghana Immigration Service. Remember, na girl wage in a court. Before that, the girl ko shemu 7 days. Ghana, yemfa obintum over 24 hours. Eno kra no omu dinka break is law no. Omu sa call court no. Omu ankasa call court on the basis say asema no mujina so edi abe prosecute girl no. Asem no eden evidence no enyi engina so omu na call withdraw evidence no. Ade chinya omu sa letter ba say sa evidence no omu de call court. Omu ankasa kwa yi free court say omu nto asem no so no. Omu begina evidence no so de agi girl no de residence permit free nsem. How foolish they are. You went to court and you told the court you don't have evidence. Now the court says, "Oh, now the buy also the evidence on Bokrono." Adia chinya wo se wo gene den o revoke den ne permit or the Ghana if we say wa ma wo ensem bia engina ne na so wa ndi no kura ankyerɛw. Bam gise no kura na ne ko gina court say nka court mu anfo. Ena wa court ka kire court say you ni engina so na yede no pia bontene a wotumi nya letter we be ka kire de say sesia no sa bone na court am se wundi ye no we pia bontene we di bone no. How foolish. How this is intimidation. This is abuse of power. This is basically they are basically intimidating this lady. Whatever they are doing is against a fundamental human right as an individual, as a human being. It does not matter where you stand. It does not matter the country you are in. Your rights are supposed to be protected. You could be an Iranian, you could be a Chinese, you could be a Ghanaian. No matter where you find yourself, the first thing that you need to be protected is your fundamental human rights. And these people have abused that. The Ghana Immigration Office, they have abused that human rights. The lady's rights have been taken away from her. They are intimidating a citizen who has lawfully entered Ghana. Why didn't you prove your case in court? Because at the end of the day, and also Emra, why do you go to court and say Emrano? Maybe some me asana de ba munyi free court me ninjina so opia bontia o se me ba beje permit if we say we can track me. Now so we read the letter na second paragraph. Right, this is what they say. Your presence in the country is therefore illegal. Accordingly, you shall be served notice to leave the country pursuant to provision of Immigration Act 2000. Almost say, your presence in the country is therefore illegal. Almost my residence living in sim into Ghana now was illegal. On what basis? Because you could not go further to explain why you are saying say fraudulent misrepresentation. What fraudulent misrepresentation are you talking about? Because when you say fraudulent misrepresentation, there should be a reason, there should be a meaning, there should be a deeper explanation. The fact that you are an immigration officer does not mean you can just use a vague statement and use that to deport. You need to be able say oko abrochire krana se woni nkrata na echewa. Near the to baby say, oh, try and say they give you a lawyer. Because it could be say near Tata now you can make a case for yourself. You cannot just say you lied to me, so end the year free Ghana. No, you are making a big mistake. Now, what makes it worse is say the Nipa now you say she has lied to you. No, her parents are residents in Ghana. She can be given the room to explain herself. So you cannot just hide behind a vague statement like fraudulent misrepresentation. What was the fraudulent misrepresentation? There should be something. Because one can say court, the basis of our court say you have no evidence. So immediately, when they come again of what I say, they now they call court to say we trying to write also because one cause or say only evidence. That means she's not committed any crime. So why do you step out to come say she has committed a crime? And what is the crime? Misrepresentation, fraudulent. What is the meaning of that? What is the meaning of fraudulent misrepresentation into your the permit? Now, the second letter the Ghana Immigration Service released. Let me show you the second letter. Is despicable. This is the second letter Ghana Immigration Service released. And Osha letter we are or a notice of removal. Into almost say the letter by and say ya G a to me a chest of Ghana hano and almost had the crata for by say when the chest or see you free Ghana haya and they are also pamon. Aisha Wang eboni patu. Aisha Wang essential. Aisha Wang echo further to bring fake passport into Ghana. Aisha Wang murdered people, destroyed water, vegetation. Aisha Wang was given a lawyer. Aisha Wang, she was given a lawyer to represent her. What crime has this lady committed here to deserve this kind of treatment? Bonnie Ben why? If even the Amo Kanokrampo Waka Waya, does she deserve this kind of treatment? That's the question. Now Ghana ni awoshamia because MPP ni politics adokrunti. Do you ever want to find that? Now so what to crime you decide you will be a diwa, you will know what I am talking about. So what to crime Emma a krobiso abind the side will be a do and immigration be say a doer, you will know said the Akufo Addo, you know, it will go against you, the young Ghanaians who want to travel around the world, settle and build a nation. Hey, you people, Akufo Addo is deepening your woes. So when you read the letter, this is what it says. Consequent upon the revocation of your resident permit, the Controller General has ordered that you be removed from Ghana to your home country, Belgium, pursuant to Section 21(1) of the Immigration Act 2000, Act 573. You are hereby ordered to leave the country within 24 hours upon receipt of this notice. Almost say the Penina or the Ghana Immigration Service, I don't know. Or see a nimenimia. If we say a trouble be a friend say, a fraudulent misrepresentation or jinaso say, and the ya no yajo permit also free Ghana and the ya. Inti, Omo insist to say, I buy you an free Ghana, Omo discipline more free krumum and co. Has she committed a crime? What crime did she commit? And that's the question. If this lady has committed a crime, the Ghana Immigration Service should tell us crime and idea crime. And is that same crime linked to the crime I didn't call court? Puli Assembly Free Court. If the crime is the same crime, what they call court, muko free court willingly, say then why are you making this crime the most important part of this whole thing? It means in the first place, this is a case which is motivated by politicians. A politically motivated issue here. A Jubilee House, a Akufo Addo, a NPP4, and omuye. When you read the second paragraph, a hona trick, you know. Now, the second paragraph, or say, you shall remain out of the country upon removal until the Controller General approves your future re-entry into Ghana. So right now, what the Immigration Office wants to do, then they say, so you deported. Now, Uber to me so as I reply and as I apply for visa to enter. Now, when you apply for a visa to enter any country, it is not the president or it is not the chief justice who approves it. It is the immigration that approves your visa. In Tomo culture, it's a court. NASA reply and NASA reapply for the visa. They are telling you that the moment you step out of this country, we are never going to grant you access. Now you understand. Let's paragraph no almost catch your banner say deliberately we are sending you out and we want to tell you say when you want to enter again we will not allow you, we will deny you. They are abusing the power. They are abusing the power. So what they want to do now and they say they want to try and abuse the power to the point they will force this lady out by force. The diplomats are watching. It can happen to anybody in Ghana who is not Ghanaian, who has resident permit. It can happen to any of their citizens. They are watching. So now you tell me I am forcefully taking your resident permit from you. I am taking it. I'm abusing my power. I am taking your human rights, your fundamentals from you, and that go out. And when you are coming again, I will stop you from coming because I am the only person who grants visas in Ghana, who allows foreigners to enter Ghana. when you go to the final part of the letter, you are to take notes that you are to take note and notice is hereby given that I'm sorry, let me take it again. I'll say you are to take notes and notice is hereby given that should you disregard the order herein given, further legal actions will be instituted against you. I'm say so free court. Now the question I want to ask is simple. From what the immigration service they have written and all that, Bonnie Ben again we are committee. If it's about she misrepresenting or fraudulent misrepresentation, that was the same thing you took to court and you withdrew it. So why is it say after the court, you think that thing did not have evidence, you can still apply it. They know that when the lady goes to court, she will win the case. The Ghana Immigration Service and the Jubilee House, they know. Say, Obayua way, Oko court, and every court of Ghana, Nyanseni ne di enim because Obayua way, she can still live in Ghana on committee bonnet. Because she's a spokesperson for a new face. Say Dien new face and why there. Who is new face? Where is new face? Where was it registered? What entity is it? Is it a limited liability? Is it a corporation? Is it an NGO? Is it a political party? There's nothing. I can choose to say I represent Kevin and Association. I have not. It might not have been something that has been registered. It does not belong to any category of business. But I can still tell myself I'm representing Kevin Association. You cannot arrest me for that. You cannot base on that to arrest me and say because of that my permit is against it. Anybody can represent anything. Especially when you go into the archives and you realize that what that person is saying she represents does not exist, then you have no basis to deport a person.